So today's day one of my experiment, and I'm going to be recording pretty much everything that I can or that makes sense. But essentially, I think I can complete it. So it's only 5 days. It can't be that bad, right? I think my main concern is that I don't have a fountain of information at my disposal anymore, and I feel like that's completely new to me. So even before, when I got rid of my smartphone and when I use my light phone exclusively some days, I don't have an issue because I know that there are other ways I can get information. I can find stuff on the internet like my laptop or even a smart speaker or something like that. And since I banned those, essentially, my laptop now has just a couple of apps, and I'll be showcasing that to you in just a second. I still find myself a little bit like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I do have a plan, which I feel confident about, but having a plan and executing that plan are two different things. I think my morning is not going to be well or affected that much because I'm about to go on a run. And yeah, I feel like that's going to be fine.
So I just finished my run with the dog. He's sniffing everywhere and just having fun, essentially. But I think the thing that's going to help me the most is actually to be with him outside. I already walk him like twice a day, sometimes once, just because, maybe my brother gives him a walk or my wife. But most of the time I'm outside when I'm with him, and I don't take electronics. So I think it's going to be easier to do that while I'm outside. And I think that that's kind of like the secret to this whole challenge, being outside more or doing other activities. I have a puzzle that I'm hoping to make and a coloring book that I'm hoping to kind of color all the way. We'll see how that goes, but I guess being outdoors is going to be essentially the whole thing. And as I was running, I kind of came to that epiphany. It's like, yeah, if I'm outdoors and I don't have access or temptations to all of these electronics, then it's going to just be an easier challenge for me. And I think, well, on top of that, it's going to be better for my health. So yeah, I think outdoors is going to be the key. We'll see how I feel by the end of the 5 days. It's a very short period, so I'm not so, I don't know, I'm not concerned about it. If I was doing this for a year, I think that would be kind of different. But 5 days, it's going to be okay. And I think the outdoors is going to help a lot.
So I want to show you what I'm going to bring to the challenge with me and the tools that are going to help me complete it, in my opinion. First of all is my Light Phone 2, which is a basic phone that only has very good tools like music, podcast, directions, alarm, calculator, hotspot, notes, and that's about it. Doesn't have any distracting apps, so it's well within the ethos of the challenge. I also have some fun things like my Rubik's Cube right here, and I'm going to be just solving it and solving it again and again and again, which is just essentially just to kill time and just kind of like when I'm waiting for things, instead of pulling a smart device like a laptop to do quote unquote work, I'm going to be doing something better. Also, I have a coloring book that I have made sure to buy, and this hopefully will help me in just, when I'm distracted or when I'm bored, I can do something and still unleash some creativity. The last part is going to be a book. So I have a book, The Age of Surveillance Capitalism by Shoshana Zuboff, which is a very important book, and it's quite long. So I think it's about 500 pages. 525 pages or so. And I hope to read 100 pages per day. So that's my goal. And hopefully I'll be able to finish in 5 days, since I'm going to be having more time than usual, since I'm not going to be wasting it in my kind of like the internet and the browsers. And last but not least, which is the anchor for when I have to totally use my devices, is this right here, which is a laptop. It's a Linux laptop, however, and I have modified it. So I'm going to show you how that looks right now on the screen. So right now I'm showing you my Linux laptop, and I decided to use Ubuntu because that's what I'm familiar with, but you can use whatever you want. And I recommend Linux because it's more customizable. So essentially I picked 3 apps that I'm going to be using and I'm recording with OBS Studio, so I don't need that, but that's not distracting. So I'm just going to use it to record my stuff. But essentially, I have Planning Center, which is a app that we use for our planning, for essentially all of the things that we do, all of the kind of like work that I do. Then we have Zoom. Then we have MailerLite, which is I'm in charge of the newsletter at work, so I have to do that. So I have to use it. And then you have Thunderbird, which is the mail client. I did also load Open Audible, which is the way I get my audiobooks. And I do have two more things, a VPN. You have CPod, which is my podcast player, which is just if I decide to listen to a podcast while I'm here. And then I have also Bitwarden, which is where we store pretty much all of our passwords. And I use these two. So I'm going to show you MailerLite, for example. It's going to open in a window and it's going to be kind of like a browser, but you cannot browse the web. So this is essentially the website for MailerLite. So I will log in here and not have any issues. You can also have file new window. I think that's maybe like for the MailerLite. Yeah, so for you can have two windows if you need to kind of like go back and forth. So I'm kind of excited about that. That at least I have access to kind of have two windows, but it's the same application, so I'm not being distracted. And those are kind of like the only compromises that I made. But essentially, that's it. I deleted the web browser. I deleted all of the extra utilities that I didn't need. I just kept the stuff for like updating the system, as you see right there, in a file manager in case like somebody sends me something via email that I need to unzip. But that's about it. And like, I'm really excited about this setup because it's very clean. It's very simple. It's very easy to use. I also have the planning center right there whenever I have to use an input or get some information. And there's one other app that I need to use, but I only need to use that once a week. So I don't foresee using it in the next 5 days. So I didn't load it here. So yeah, I'm kind of super excited to see how this one goes. Because it's going to be a little bit different usage. Like I don't really have anything to look into for this. And if I add any apps, I'll be kind of updating you. Since there's 3 apps that I can use, Zoom was already acceptable because I have meetings and that. But if I have another app that I need to use, I'll probably be putting it in here. But as of right now, that's it. I'm excited about this Linux setup because I think that I'm not just going to keep it for the 5 days, but I'm going to continue doing it further after the 5 days are done. But that's the setup that I'm going to be using. And those are the kind of like utilities that I'm going to be having. The books that I'm going to be reading, the Light Phone 2, the coloring book, and, kind of like all of that stuff. So yeah, let's continue with the journey and see how it all happens.
So, wrap up for day number 1. And I'm going to be posting these essentially real time. I won't post them. My wife will post them for me. So I don't know if that's cheating. You guys let me know in the comments, but I won't be able to read them 5 days from now. So I'm just going to do it. And hopefully you like it. But the reason why is because I want you guys to see what it is or how it is to live with less reliance on the internet, kind of like on real time, instead of me editing and making it look nice, making it look like it was an easy challenge. I don't think it's going to be extremely difficult, like I said in the beginning, and my suspicions kind of have been confirmed. It's been a very nice day. Not a lot of noise, not a lot of stress, not a lot of anxiety. I've enjoyed my day so much. It's been so nice to have this break. But this is day 1. I don't know what's going to happen day 3 and day 4 when it's like, ooh, that's a lot of friction in there. Especially day 3 because that day I'm going to be renting a car. So we'll see how much dependence there is on phones and whether I can do it or not. And what are the steps to do that without so much access to smart devices. So here's the thing that happened today in my day. That was a little friction, right? So number 1, always have cash. Even $20 or, some denomination, 5s, 1s, different stuff like that. And the reason is you never know what you're going to need it for. So today I wasn't expecting to come to the office, but here I am. I needed to come to the office because I needed to pick up a package from UPS. And I'll talk about UPS in just a second. But usually I come on the bus or I use my bike. And I said, hey, let me go on the bus because it's a little bit faster, right? So I'll be able to be there on time to pick up the package. Well, the bus, you need money. And in order to get a bus pass, you either need the app or you need a pass. And I didn't buy a pass. And the station is kind of far for me to buy a pass. So guess what? I ended up biking. Not a big issue, but always having cash can be super helpful, especially if it's just a couple dollars, just to, get you to another place that you can get an ATM and then get the money and, that kind of stuff. So cash, very important. Cash is still king. And especially if you're going to live without the internet, cash is king. Number 2 is 411 is your friend. So there is a phone directory that you can call to, and there's an automated system, and there's also a personal system. So I called today because I needed 2 addresses and phone numbers. The first one was UPS. I don't have the UPS phone number in my phone. Therefore, I needed to call them, right? But I didn't have the phone number, so I called 411. They gave me the phone number with the automated system. Then I needed to call a local pizza place. I'm going to an event. I needed some pizza. I'm going to pick it up. And then what happened is that I also don't have the phone number for my local pizza place. Well, I called 411. The automated system didn't really understand me, but then they transferred me to a nice operator, and the operator gave me the phone number, and then I was able to call, order the pizza, and I'll be able to pick it up, go to this event, and then go home. So it is possible to live without all of these conveniences. Of course, these conveniences make it really easy and stuff like that. But again, it is possible to do this, and I'm really happy to have found just the reality that there's other methods. There's also, besides 411, there is a texting tool that you can text. I featured this in one of my light phone videos in the past. And, well, essentially you text and you get the ability to get some information like phone numbers, addresses, things like that, which is extremely helpful from a perspective of somebody that wants to reduce their reliance on the internet. So again, I'm really looking forward to day 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you'll see some of my updates. Probably day 2 is going to be a little boring. I'm going into work. And that's about it. I don't foresee much friction, but I'll be showing you my day and kind of like what I do on the weekends. Day 3 is going to be really exciting because that's, I think, the highest friction. I am going to go to rent a car, and I'm going to bring my statements and everything printed, like hey, I rented a car. This is the confirmation. But I don't have, I don't have the QR codes or anything. I verify my information, but we'll see what happens. But again, this is super refreshing. I think everybody should do one of these at least a week and a month, even if it's not 5 days, 3 days, where you just go and like renew yourself and like read, do puzzles, do painting or whatever you're into, and kind of like do more connecting activities. Talk with my parents, talk with my friends today. It was really a rewarding day, and I'm really excited to continue in this challenge. If you have any questions, put them there. I'll be interacting with you guys next week. Even though this is kind of like going to be released real time, will still not be checking it. My wife will just be pressing publish for me going into my profile. And if you guys have any comments or kind of like jokes or whatever, I don't know, just put them in there. I'll be interacting with you guys next Wednesday when I get back from my complete fast. And hopefully more thoughts will be coming into this. And I'll be creating more resources to help people kind of like, hey, if you're into this pickle, then you have solutions for low-tech solutions for the world, which, again, I'm really excited for. And I'm really happy that this is happening and that I decided to document some of this. Thank you for watching day 1. Stay tuned for day 2. Again, it'll come up the day after, probably after I do some editing and stuff like that. But yeah, super exciting, super day. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video tomorrow. Stay tuned.